Alright, hello everyone. Andy's Randomness here. It is the day before July 4th, day before our country's 250th birthday. And I was debating if I even wanted to do this video, but more people have come out and talked about it recently in the past couple of days, including one of my favorite gaming content creators, Metal Jesus Rocks, last night. So I figured if he was doing a video about it, I might as well do a video about it. And if you did not hear the news, and this was expected at some point, and we knew this was going to happen, but this day has finally come, and it's kind of sad that we have to talk about it, but it is confirmed. And I knew it was going to happen at some point, that in 2028, physical disc production will officially be over for new games releasing on the PS5. And of course, all future consoles going forward, I guess. In the PlayStation blog that they said on Wednesday, quote, this is the quote I'm reading from it right here, and it's on your screen right here. In response to shifting trends in consumer preference, new games will be released only on PlayStation stores and at retailers. So, don't know how much longer GameStop is going to last because of this news, but at certain retailers like GameStop, and I would definitely assume Target, Walmart. I mean, you're obviously still going to need Best Buy. I mean, where are we supposed to get our TVs from? So just Best Buy, for an example. Oh, don't forget PC Richard & Son if you're on the East Coast. Don't forget about them. So it'll only be in digital formats only. The article says, quote, as consumer preferences in the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical disc to digital, physical disc production for all new games releasing on the PlayStation 5 will be discontinued beginning in January of 2028. Following this date, new game releases will only be available on the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impacts on games that have already been released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt consumer trends as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical disc. This transition will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play games today. We'll continue our resources to drive innovation in how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games, whether that is at retailers or PlayStation stores. We remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. So, here's my two honest reactions to this news. Alright. First things first, this is a sad day in general. I mean, even though it came out 48 hours ago. This is a sad time to be a collector of physical media. And at some point, I'm not just talking about video games here. At some point, we're looking at the death spiral of the DVD, which I'm still hoping Toy Story 5 will be on DVD later this year. I'm still a collector of movies on that format. Still hoping Minions and Monsters will be on DVD. And I'm still hoping that, what else am I hoping for? Oh yeah, the Spider-Man will be on Blu-ray this year. But in terms of everything else in the video game community, I got a bad feeling Xbox is going to be next. Alright? I'm very worried this is going to go to Microsoft at some point. And you know, there was already rumors that this new Xbox Sticks to Digital program will likely mean that, yeah, at some point, Microsoft is going to do the same. And at some point, for you Nintendo Switch people, for you Nintendo Switch cartridge people, right? Because you know how Nintendo Switch works, right? You have to push a card, right? I got a bad feeling Nintendo is going to head down that direction too. Whether it's the Switch, whether it's whatever future console they're going to end up doing. Yeah, I got a bad feeling we're heading in that direction. And then again, it will lead to movie studios saying no more DVDs, no more Blu-rays, not even the 4K disc. We're just going to stop making them. I hope that's not the case. In fact, I don't even have a 4K Blu-ray. I've never owned one in my life because I don't even have a 4K television. Will I eventually get one? Maybe in 5 to 10 years, when I can finally afford one. But as I'm in my, condominium in Ocean City, Maryland, a day before our country's 250th birthday, this is the state where we're in. And Metal Jesus made a very valid point last night. Maybe there'll be smaller companies that'll be like, hey, Sony, maybe you can make like a custom edition disc for our game or something down the line past January 2028. And at some point, I really think that this is going to trigger nostalgia in physical releases for older consoles. I mean, we have a lot of retro gaming conventions, that happen every single year. I mean, look at Metal Jesus. He hosts one of the largest ones out on the West Coast every single year. You look at my part of the country, because I'll be in New York next week. You look at Long Island, the Video Game Trading Post. They sponsor a convention every single year, I think, at the Cradle of Aviation Museum in Garden City in Long Island every year. So, there's still hobbyists who want that nostalgia. And I know it could be expensive for the older Nintendo consoles, right? I don't have to get into every single one, but if you know what I'm talking about, you can comment. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. And again, I knew this day was coming. Everybody's so lenient on digital. And, we talk about the don't kill games movement when Ubisoft shut down their servers for The Crew. And that was a topic I didn't want to touch 2 years ago. Thank goodness that Don't Kill Games got involved in that. And I'm telling you, maybe the Don't Kill Games movement will fully go on with this, because this is where we lead into our next. It's stop killing games, right? It should be don't kill games, stop killing games. So this is where we get into why we have stop killing games. All right, Ross Scott 2 years ago did this because you're looking at a movement to preserve video games after they get taken down. And I got a bad feeling it's going to lead to more piracy, but that's just the way it is that these companies try to rip us off, right? Also on Wednesday, we got news that the PlayStation 3 store and the PlayStation Vita store will start to close beginning next year. Now, in terms of North America countries, let's just go with the United States where I am, for example. The PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita stores will shut down in July of 2027. Alright? Now, in Mexico, August 2026. So, in the article on PlayStation Blog, it was quoted saying that modern commerce systems, including updated payment processing standards, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita consoles will no longer be able to support these updates. So, I'm going to tell you right now, I think this move by Sony for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita, well, especially PlayStation 3, I really think now there will be a full resurgence of retro video game stores. Now, I don't know if it will be across the country, because where I am in Ocean City, Maryland at the moment, you try to ask somebody where's the closest retro video game store, they'll laugh at you and they'll tell you to either take a trip across the Bay Bridge or take a trip into Philadelphia. That's a arm's length drive. So it's really upsetting that we are in this predicament, but that's just the way it is. I guess PlayStation 3 discs are going to see an uptick on Amazon, probably on eBay, probably on Facebook Marketplace, the way we're heading. Don't forget Mercari. There's that other app I keep looking into on occasion. Problem is, when I tried getting a Midland WR100 this year, the version 3, yeah, I couldn't get that. So, whatever. What was I going to get into? The one thing I do want to mention, and I already have this week's Sandy Plays taped back in New York, but hopefully I will prioritize it because I really am excited about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 being the July monthly game. And then after that, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna play. I mean, do I want to play this for the King game, the Crosscode? I don't know. I have to see if I have any other games I haven't played in my archive, but I'm gonna see, guys. But I just wanted to do this video because it's just upsetting that we have to talk about this. And, you know, let me guys know what you think. I mean, my honest opinion is, and this is where I'll wrap it up. You know, I do agree with Metal Jesus on preserving a video game. You know, you look at musicians lately. You look at how a lot of them are releasing on vinyl now. You know, just look at Sabrina Carpenter for an example. You look at all of her albums on Hollywood Records and now Island. And last year when she did that interview with Nardwuar, Hollywood Records only made 250,000 copies of her first studio album in 2014. You look at Olivia Rodrigo for an example. Her 3 studio albums have been all released on vinyl and CDs. Same with Sabrina, except again, Sabrina's been with 2 different labels. Look at Taylor Swift, for an example, who's getting married today. All of her albums have been released on vinyl or on CDs. In fact, they still make cassette tapes. I did see somewhere online that Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter was on cassette tape. It's somewhere out there. I saw it for like $13, $14, but I'm like, yeah, I do have a cassette player, but I'm like, I rather would have a CD and then make a mixtape out of it. Sorry, just they still make mixtapes, by the way. You can look them up on Amazon. So yeah, preserving physical media I think is important, especially because there's 2 factors into it. When a digital license takes down a certain thing, guess what? You're not able to get that product back. You're not able to. Unless you find a way to keep the MP3 or the MP4 file stored somewhere. And then, you know, when a digital license gets taken down, what's going to happen? You can't get that back. That's what happened with The Crew. Yeah, sure, people had those discs, but again, when Ubisoft turned off the servers, yeah, it gets to be a problem. And then you also have to account the internet. You know, these games require an internet connection now. What happens if you can't play the game online, huh? What if you want to play the offline content? So, it's just frustrating, and I don't know. Maybe enough people will speak out, and maybe Sony will reevaluate it in a year, but, you know, we're heading towards a direction where now we're relying on digital download codes for Grand Theft Auto 6. And, I don't know. What's going to happen within the next decade or two when Grand Theft Auto 7 comes out, huh? Are they just going to take away the digital licensing? I don't know. We're heading towards a very uncertain time right now. So, that's where I will wrap up this video. I'll just say this. I'm very grateful to all the musicians that believe in physical media. You guys are rocking. Olivia, Sabrina, let me just mention a couple good guys. Benson Boone, for an example. Keep doing what you're doing. We need physical media. We need more of it. Because the video game companies are trying to take the video games down right now. Alright? And that goes to you too, Taylor Swift. Just want to bring that up. Okay, I think I'm done rambling. It's right after 2 o'clock. I'm going to stop recording because I actually do have an event to get to in Delaware tonight. So that's pretty much it, y'all. We will have Andy Plays ready up on Sunday. As far as when I'll do whenever Saturday, maybe I'll do it on July 18th. Yeah, maybe I'll do it then if I'm up to it. So I have a hectic schedule when I get back up to New York. So, alright, y'all. That's pretty much it. And one more thing, if you are dealing with the heat wave on the I-95 line, just please stay hydrated. Please just make sure, if you feel exhausted, do what you gotta do. Because again, heat is the #1 killer, natural weather killer in the whole world, so. That's it. And thank you for watching, and happy 250th birthday, America.